Today, we're diving deep into the story behind a huge private land portfolio in one of the Philippines' hottest tourist spots. We're going to piece together this massive coastal asset in San Juan Batangas, and it all starts with one single jaw-dropping number. Okay, let's just jump right in with the number that kicks this whole thing off: over 500,000 square meters. I mean, that's a staggering figure, right? Our mission today is to figure out exactly what makes up this incredible piece of land. So, what is the story here? Who's behind it? How is it all structured? We're going to play detective and piece together this puzzle by looking straight at the legal documents that define it all. Let's get into our first section, because with any property, you know what they say, it's all about location, location, location. And trust me, in this case, the location is absolutely everything. This slide gives us the juicy details, and they are crucial. The property is in Laiya, San Juan Batangas. Now, if you know anything about Philippine beaches, the name Laiya should ring a huge bell. It's surrounded by popular spots like Laiya La Playa and Puerto Gualberto. This means we're not just talking about land, we're talking about land in the very heart of a premier tourist hotspot. So here's the key takeaway. We're not just discussing a large piece of land. We're talking about a large piece of land in an incredibly valuable, super sought-after location. The address alone tells you so much about its potential. Okay, this brings us to the real core of our story: figuring out the ownership of these 511,503 square meters. And to do that, we have to look at the official land titles. Now, before we get into the names, let's quickly define our key document: a Transfer Certificate of Title, or TCT. Think of it as the golden ticket of land ownership in the Philippines. It's the government-issued, rock-solid proof of who owns what, where it is, and how big it is. And here is our roadmap. This table pulls together all the details from the separate titles. Now, at first glance, I know, it looks like a confusing jumble of lots and names. But if you look closer, a very clear pattern starts to show up. And boom, this chart just makes it all crystal clear. When you group the owners from that last slide, you see the entire portfolio is held by just two family groups: the Ilocanos, with a commanding 77%, and the Coronels, holding the other 23%. Simple as that. Now that we see the big picture, let's zoom back in. We're going to break down that chart and look at each part of this impressive portfolio one by one, starting with the majority holders. Let's start with the major players. The Ilao family's portion is just immense, coming in at almost 400,000 square meters. That's more than 3/4 of the entire thing, all held across just a few key titles. The absolute centerpiece of their holdings is this single title. It's a huge, undivided property of over 175,000 square meters, held jointly by Rosendo and Guadalupe Ilao. This one document alone represents a massive chunk of real estate. On top of that, you've got two more huge lots. And get this, they're identically sized, each one just under 110,000 square meters. One belongs to Fernanda Ayalo, the other to the heirs of Mauro Ayalo. Together, these three titles make up the vast majority of the portfolio. Okay, let's switch gears and look at the second family group, the Coronels. We'll see how their pretty significant piece, over 116,000 square meters, is put together. Most of the coronal holdings come from these three titles. What's kind of cool is that this was clearly one larger property that got subdivided into three identical lots. Each one is just under 28,000 square meters, registered to Jonathan, Michael, and Julianita Coronel. And there it is, the very last piece of our 500,000 square meter puzzle. This lot, over 32,000 square meters, registered to Armando Coronel, officially completes the family's holdings and the entire portfolio we've been building. You know, digging into these documents also gives you a sense of history. The oldest title in this collection, belonging to the Ilaos, dates all the way back to 1975. The Coronel titles were officially entered in 1987. This shows us the portfolio has a long, established legal history that spans decades. So, after we've assembled all those individual titles and family holdings, what does the final picture really look like when you just step back and take it all in? And we're right back where we started, with our big number. But it's not just a number anymore, is it? Now we know that it represents a collection of legally documented adjoining properties that all come together to form one single, massive, consolidated asset. And to really wrap your head around that size, 511,503 square meters is over 50 hectares. That is an enormous canvas. We're talking about the scale needed for a world-class integrated resort,
a championship golf course, or even a small town. With that much open space in a sunny spot like Batangas, you could even build a huge solar farm. The possibilities are just off the charts. So let's recap the big points. We have a massive, unified portfolio in a prime tourist location. The ownership is clearly documented, has a long legal history, and it's all neatly consolidated within just 2 family groups. This isn't just a collection of properties, it's a single, powerful asset. An asset of this scale could become a sprawling luxury resort, a private residential enclave, or, like we said, a large-scale renewable energy project. It's a developer's dream.
And that leaves us with the big, tantalizing question. We've mapped out the what and the who. We've even started dreaming about the incredible potential for development. The only thing left to ask is, what's next? With all the pieces perfectly in place, the location, the scale, the clear ownership, what does the future actually hold for this incredible coastal asset?